What's up, everyone? So, of course, you've seen the title. You want to get your vocals sounding like the kid Laroi. Well, this is how you do it on Logic Pro.
This is too complicated, you say it's my time I'm wasting, and I feel I'm just not enough. Then you get drunk and start saying that it's not real and you faking it out. I still think that that's fucked up.
Let's start off with your beat. One of the most important parts is getting the BPM and the key of the beat correct. So we're going to go over to our beat and we're going to open up auto key, and then we can apply the correct key to our auto tune.
In and out of situations that is before. No, I won't ever compete for.
After you find out the key of the beat, you want to go and find the BPM for the beat. Just go down here, you have BPM. Logic have one built in stock. That's what I use. It works perfect. And you just want to get yourself the BPM, and then once you get the BPM, you're all ready to go and record. Now let's get into the vocals. So we have our record track here. I'm just using an NS1 to block out some background noise or fan noise from my computer. Then I have our auto-tune here. I'm using Meta-tune. You can use any auto-tune you want. It's all up to you, personal preference. Now, as you can see, every vocal chain that I have here are all the exact same except for the first one, which has CLA effects. And basically all I'm doing with that is throwing on a bit of effects that I think sounds good with my vocal. So everything that's on this is here.
Oh, oh,
So basically that's all it is. So we start off with a de-esser, and the frequency we're using on this, everybody's different, but what I find works for me is 2500, around that frequency. Next on the vocal chain is our auto-tune, of course. Then we have NS1 suppressor, and basically all this is doing, like I said, is just taking out background noise. Then we have another de-esser called Sibilance. Now Sibilance is like another de-esser, but just on sibilances, if that makes sense. All I'm using on this is minus 30.6. I have the look ahead on because I feel it works better when that's turned on. Then after that we have a Pooktech EQ. Basically all we're doing with this EQ is boosting 7 at 10k. And then CLA vocals. Now if you're not good at mixing vocals, try this plugin. It should make it a lot easier for you. We're not using the mixing parts of this plugin. All we're using on this plugin is large hall and a slap delay. So, and then after CLA vocals we have a Poo Child compressor, another Waves plugin. Basically it's just to squish the vocal a little bit and just control it a bit more. I have two virtual mix racks on bus 15 turned up all the way to 0. On the first virtual mix rack we have a classic gate default, didn't touch it. It does its own thing, works perfectly. After that we have two compressors. Well, actually we have three compressors, but the first two are 1176s, just to give the vocal a bit of tone characteristics. And the last plugin we have is an LA2A, and all that is doing is just controlling those peaks and giving us a bit of extra volume. Then on our second virtual mix rack is our EQ. We have our SSL channel here. On our Neve 1073 we're using plus 2 dB on the top end. We don't touch anything else. Then we move on to FG Stress. Basically it's a distressor. We don't touch it, we leave it default. And finally, Revival. This plugin just adds sizzle, top end, airiness, whatever you want to call it. It says here shimmer. You can also add thickness to your vocal, but I just like to leave that on 0 and max out the shimmer to give you that Sony type vocal. On our second bus, we have Valhalla Vintage Verb. Great reverb. And after that we have our S1 imager just to push out the reverb so it's not clashing with our vocal. Next we're going to adlibs. Of course we have our auto tune, then we have NS1 again, noise reduction, and then we have ozone imager. Now what this is just widen out those adlibs so it's not clashing again with the main vocal. So your main vocal is sitting in the middle of your mix and your adlibs are off out here. Then onto the melodies. The melodies are just filling in the gaps that the main vocal and the ad-libs don't fill in. Even though you have ad-libs here and you have your main vocal, you still will get some half seconds where there's no vocal. It's just the track. So the job for our melody is to just fill in those little gaps. So it's just continuously flowing and you're hearing the vocal. On this track we have our meta tune or auto tune, NS1, and then we have a doubler. Now doubler is just, again, thicker vocals, a little bit wider. And then we have Pancake 2. So basically, free plugin. All it is just throwing it from left to right, left to right, left to right, both just panning the vocal. And that is how to sound like the Kid Laroi. So if you have any other suggestions on who you want to sound like next, or any other video ideas, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you all in the next one.